Hello everyone, hello everyone. Okay, how do we do the rook checkmate? Okay, so there are two traditional ways of doing it. One of them I completely disagree with. It's like so dumb, so stupid. Okay, the first way to do this checkmate is if you want to sleep a billion years, you can do this, or basically you put your king up, you king here, like you slowly rank by rank. You're here, force the king here. Oh my god. So this is the slow way of doing it, and it takes like decades, man. You basically force the king rank by rank up the board. And it takes way, way, way too long. Okay? So I will just teach you guys the most simple way to do a single rook checkmate. So this is something called the box method. And it's literally as the name suggests. We basically form a box around the king. We make it smaller and smaller and smaller until we checkmate. Okay? So, very simple, okay? First of all right, here are a few things we have to do before we start the box method. We need our king and rook close together. So, obviously, the rook doesn't get nom-nommed by the opposing king. All right? And secondly, we need to choose which corner we want to force the king to. Okay? So, basically, normally, how do we choose the corner? So, which corner is this king closer to? Yeah, okay. Well, obviously it's that one, right? Okay, so we normally want to force the king this way, all right? So how do we do that? Okay, so very simple. We have to first form a box. A box is like a prison around the king. So it's like lasers. Choo, choo, choo. It's like if the king touches the laser, boom, they die. Okay. If the king touches the edge of the box, they instantly combust. Okay. So how do we start forming a box? All right. Let's just say we want to force the king to this corner, right? So first, I'll move my rook here. All right. And then they'll probably try to stay in the center. And then I move my rook here. And this has started the formation of the box. Okay. It's like a box. So if you ever look, basically, the rook has created lasers in which the king cannot go past. A prison in which he will never escape from. Okay. So now we just have to remember a riddle. Okay. Our goal is to make the box smaller, 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 and smaller. Okay. And black's king obviously wants to stay in the center. So here are the rules. Okay. So if we can make the box smaller, we make the box smaller. If we can't make the box smaller, we just move our king closer to his king. Okay, it's that simple. It's literally that simple. Okay, if we can close the box, we close the box. If we can move the king closer, if we can't close the box, we move the king closer. All right, so I will demonstrate. Okay, so the king goes here. All right, so our box is here right now. We really, really want to make this box smaller. So how can we make this box smaller? We want to go here, right? But obviously, if we go there, like you quit life, like you just blundered your rook. All right, so we can't close the box. We can't make the box smaller, right? Our box cannot be made smaller. So what do? Move the king closer to the opposing king. So king. All right. So black king's going. What do? Can we make the box smaller? Oops. Can we make the box smaller? Yes, of course we can, right? See? Now from this box, the box has gotten smaller now. See? We're making the box smaller and smaller and smaller. All right. So black will try to stay here, and then we can't make the box smaller, so we move our king. So black's king moves. Can we make the box smaller? No, we can't. So we move our king in. Can we make the box smaller? Yes, we can. Blah, blah, blah. On repeat. Okay? It's very, very simple. Can we make the box smaller? Yes, we can. All right? Can we make the box smaller? Of course not. All right? It's on the edge of the box, so we have to move our king in. So king here. Can we make the box smaller? Yes. Can we make the box smaller? Yes. Can we make the box smaller? No. Okay? So we move our king closer. Can we make the box smaller? No. All right? Let's move our king closer. Can we make the box smaller? Yes. All right. So let's just say now the king has only a few sweat. Let's just say they go here. Okay. They go here onto the edge of the board. Can we make the box small? Of course we can. All right. And now, once we force the king into the corner like this, okay, we just want to put our king 2 squares away from the king and not blocking our rook. So in this square right now. Okay. 2 squares. We want to move our king to a position where it's 2 squares away from the opposing king, and it's also not blocking our rook, okay, from checking. So here we go here, 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 here. And, by what I was saying, okay, you might be like, oh my god, now we can make the box smaller, wahaha. Okay, if you play this, I don't know, man. So this in chess is what we call a stalemate. Because look, can the king go anywhere? No. Is the king in check? No. In chess, when the king can't move, even though it's not attacked, it's something we call stalemate, and it's a draw. And as white, do we want to draw? Of course not. Okay, so you don't play. We gotta leave the king with 2 squares. Give him a breathing space. Okay. So once we get our king here, how do we checkmate? All right. So it's actually very, very simple in this position because the king can only go to these 2 squares, right? Up. And they're both covered by the king. So all we have to do now, checkmate in 1. You can pause to find it. Yeah, we literally just go rook here. Okay. Very, very simple. Okay. So another example, let's just say the king went here for say. Okay. We move our king closer because we can't make the box. Because we can't make the box smaller, we have to move our king closer. Okay. Now the king goes into the corner. All right. Oh, okay. In this case, it's also still checkmate. So very simple. But let's just say we waste a move for white. Let's just say something like this happens. Okay. So sometimes we can get to this position instead. Okay. How can we checkmate from this position? We can't go rook here because they'll numb us and we're sad and we're depressed. How do we checkmate? Okay. So when we can't do this because they take, all we have to do is make something called a waiting move. A move that basically doesn't change the position, but simply gives the move back to the opponent. So here, we have to make a rook, waiting move with the rook. Can we go here? No, we cannot go here because this actually changes position by letting the king outside. So we have to make a waiting move that's very, very good. Okay, it stops the king from coming out and makes a waiting move. So basically, we can just move the rook anywhere along this file except for the square, obviously. So let's just move here, king here, checkmate. Very, very simple. Okay, so let's have a recap. Okay, so basically, all I did was that listen to the riddle. Can we close the box? If we can, move the rook and close the box. If we can't close the box, we move our king towards the king. Okay, very, very simple. So another important tip I want to tell you guys is that we never want to give a check in these positions until the very end. Why? Because what happens when we give a check? What happens to the box? The king will run outside the box, right? And that's not very good. So remember, we never want to give a check with our rook until the very end. All right? Okay, so that's it. So that's the box method for you. Okay, so basically, again, I know I repeated myself like 800 million times, but it's that simple. If we can close the box, we close the box. If we can't close the box, we move the king closer. So this is like box. The rook draws a box with itself. It's like a laser box. We close it. If we can't close it, we can't close the box. We move our king closer. And that's it. And eventually, we will get to this position and we checkmate. And that's it. Easy. All right, good luck and go beat your opponents.